Good morning. My name is Jamison, and I'm working on a joint PhD in business and political science. And today I'm going to tell you about my research on political violence and foreign direct investment. Pretend for a moment that you're the CEO of a firm. For the sake of argument, let's say that it's a large telecommunications firm, perhaps someone like AT&T. Now pretend that someone tells you you need to expand your operations overseas. Where would you pick? Think of a country. Raise your hand if you picked Somalia. That's what I thought. For those of you who were never subjected to Introduction to International Relations, let me remind you that Somalia is the requisite example of a war-torn anarchic country. They literally did not have a government starting in 1991. Now, what if I told you that a bunch of CEOs put in the same position chose Somalia? They decided that above all other countries, they would turn the biggest profit in Somalia. And you know what? They did. And today, 9 out of 10 Somalis owns a cell phone. This is fairly surprising, given that prevailing scholarly wisdom tells us that violence is bad for business. My research looks at why existing theory fails to explain what we actually observe. The case of Somalia is an example of firms taking advantage of natural monopolies, or industries with a few players. We often see these in the case of public utilities, such as water and electricity, as well as telecommunications and transportation. For example, when you pick your cell phone carrier in the US, you only have 4 options: AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon. You probably do not get to choose who gives you the water or the electricity in your apartment. This is the case in other countries as well because of the intrinsic structures of these industries. My research shows that firms that invest in these monopolistic markets are actually incentivized by political violence. There are a few reasons for this. One of them is that there's inelastic demand for these goods. Or, in other words, people everywhere care about being able to take a shower and text their friends even if the price is high. Additionally, conflict disadvantages small domestic firms and favors large multinational firms. So perhaps violence isn't bad for all businesses. But what about these other businesses, the ones in the normal competitive markets? What if I told you that that Diet Coke you're drinking might have been produced in Afghanistan, Pakistan, or Sudan? Yep. Name a country with a war, Coca-Cola probably has a plant there. Why? Firms are strategic and countries are large. Coca-Cola knows that Pakistan has cheap labor rates and low corporate taxation, so they just set up shop where the Taliban isn't and then continue on with their business. Academics have long held that violence will deter investment. In reality, firms are perfectly okay with dodging bullets in the name of their bottom line. This research has important implications for post-conflict reconstruction and global economic development. Thank you.